Welcome back, everybody. We are back again with another Smooth Brain EDH video, where we make the smoothest plays with the biggest brains. Today we've got some pretty fun and exciting cEDH gameplay for you guys. But before we get into that, don't forget to check out our social media sites, guys. Links will be in the description. We'll be posting sneak peeks behind the scenes and other cool content there. But anyways, let's jump into the video and see who's playing what. Up first is Cody, who's playing Urza, Lord High Artificer. This deck is actually really cool. It's a control/combo style deck that relies on the Tidespout Tyrant combo. With this combo, all you need is Tidespout Tyrant and 2 mana positive artifacts. You get to keep playing, bouncing, and tapping them for mana, getting you infinite mana. But with Urza out, any 0-drop artifact is mana positive. And with his 5 mana ability, you get to cast your entire deck once you get infinite mana. Up next is Logan and his Carrick deck. This mono black deck can win with several different infinite combos, a couple of which include Aetherflux Reservoir, Bolus's Citadel, and Sensei's Divining Top. All you have to do is cast Sensei's Divining Top off the top, and then activate it to put it back on. Then you can infinitely cast it, and then infinitely gain life, and ping your opponents for 50. And then also Grey Merchant of Asphodel, Chainer Dementia Master, and any sack outlet. This combo lets you get enough ETB triggers from Grey Merchant to kill your opponents. Next is Justin, who's playing the new Lathril deck. He took one look at the precon and said, yep, I am going to make that as competitive as I can. This green and black deck plays a lot like most mono green decks. It aims to go wide and get big. He's playing a whole lot of elves so he can win with something like Azuri Renegade Leader, or maybe Craterhoof Behemoth or Triumph of the Hordes. And the splash of black allows him to hold up a lot of interaction. Alright, and last but not least is Chandler and his Chulane deck. And yes, I am aware it is probably pronounced Chulane, but I just prefer saying Chulane. Anyways, this deck is the food chain variant. Once the food chain combo starts going, you cast Chulane, and then keep the combo going to draw your deck, getting you either a Thassa's Oracle, a Walking Ballista, or a really big Finale of Devastation. Alright, now that we know who's playing, let's look at the hands. But before that, leave in the comments, who do you think's gonna win? Alright, up first is Cody, who keeps a hand of Snow-Covered Island, Gemstone Caverns, Everflowing Chalice, Lion's Eye Diamond, Muddle the Mixture, and Windfall. Altogether a pretty good hand, not super fast, but it could lead anywhere. Up next is Logan, who keeps Exotic Orchard, Boseiju who shelters all, City of Traders, Blood Celebrant, Opposition Agent, and Aetherflux Reservoir. He bottoms a Blast Zone. This is a very good hand. City of Traders will let him cast Crick a turn early, and he already has a combo piece with Aetherflux Reservoir in his hand. Not to mention, everyone at the table is playing Tutors, and Opposition Agent will put a stop to that. After Logan comes Justin, who keeps Snow-Covered Swamp, Cavern of Souls, Agadeem's Awakening, Allosaurus Shepherd, Reclamation Sage, Azuri Renegade Leader, and a Demonic Tutor. This is a great hand, a potential 3 lands and plenty to do on each turn. And finally we have Chandler, who keeps a Savannah, a Strip Mine, Grim Monolith, Birds of Paradise, Aven Mind Sensor, Freed from the Real, and a Path to Exile. Another great keep. It's got plenty of mana ramp and interaction, and Freed from the Real is a potential infinite mana combo piece. Alright everyone, we've seen everyone's hands. Let's jump straight into the game. Cody wins the die roll, so he starts his turn off with a Snow-Covered Island and then casts a Lion's Eye Diamond before passing to Logan. Logan plays a tapped Boseiju and passes to Chandler. Chandler plays his Savannah, tapping it for 1 and casting Birds of Paradise, and passes to Justin. Justin has a fantastic top deck and casts Deathrite Shaman off of his Cavern of Souls naming elves. Back to Cody's turn, he plays and cracks a Prismatic Vista for another Snow-Covered Island. He then taps for 2 and casts Everflowing Chalice kicked once and passes to Logan. Logan plays Exotic Orchard, then casts Jet Medallion, taking 2 to Boseiju. He passes to Chandler after that. Chandler plays the City of Brass as his lane for turn, then taps for 2 and casts Grand Abolisher before passing to Justin. Justin plays a Snow-Covered Swamp as his land for turn, and then casts a double uncounterable Allosaurus Shepherd before passing to Cody. Cody plays Gemstone Caverns as his land for turn, and then taps for 3 to cast Rhystic Study before passing to Logan. Logan starts his turn off with a Jeweled Lotus. He then plays City of Traders from his hand. He then sacrifices Jeweled Lotus for 3 mana, and because of Jet Medallion, he just pays 6 life and uses the 3 black mana to cast Carrick. After that, he casts Blood Pet, then pays 2 life to Carrick to cast Blood Celebrant. And he uses City of Traders so Cody won't draw 2 cards off of them. This nets Carrick 2 counters, and Logan passes to Chandler after that. But on Logan's end step, Chandler casts Path to Exile targeting Carrick, taking 1 to City of Brass. Logan lets Chandler take his turn as he searches for a swamp to the battlefield tapped. And on his turn, Chandler plays a Strip Mine as land for turn. He swings the Grand Abolisher at Cody because he's got no blockers. And not wanting to cast into the Rhystic Study, he passes to Justin. Justin starts his turn off by exiling Cody's Prismatic Vista to make a green mana. He then taps for a total of 3 and casts Reclamation Sage to blow up Cody's Rhystic Study. Cody gets one more card draw before it gets blown up. Justin then passes to Cody. He plays a Snow-Covered Island as his land for turn, and then casts Sensei's Divining Top. After that, he just passes to Logan. Logan taps for 4 on his turn and casts Aetherflux Reservoir. After thinking for a bit after that, he just passes to Chandler. And just wanting to be mana efficient, Chandler flashes in Aven Mind Sensor on his end step. Chandler moves to combat, this time swinging 2 in the air at Justin. After that, he taps for 2 and casts Grim Monolith before passing to Justin. Not wanting to miss another land drop, Justin plays Agadine the Undercrypt and pays 3 life to have it come in untapped. Justin then pays a black and taps Deathrite Shaman to exile Chandler's Path to Exile, making all his opponents lose 2 life. He then passes to Cody, and Cody activates Top, looking at the top 3 of his library and putting them back in any order. Cody plays yet another Snow-Covered Island, and then casts his commander, Urza. He then uses Urza's ability to tap 4 artifacts, and then taps his last land to cast Tezzeret the Seeker. He uses his +1 to untap 2 artifacts. He then passes to Logan. And on his turn, Logan recasts Crick by paying 8 life, 6 to Crick, and 2 to Beseju, but gains 1 back thanks to Aetherflux Reservoir. Logan then pays 2 and gains 2 life by casting Thoughtseize targeting Cody, and then loses 2 more. Cody reveals his hand for everyone to see, and Logan decides to have Cody discard Windfall. After that, Logan passes to Chandler, who plays a Sea of Clouds as his land for turn. After that, he taps for 5 to cast his commander, Chulane, Teller of Tales. He then taps his Grim Monolith for 3 and casts Eternal Scourge, drawing a card off of Chulane and then passing to Justin. On his turn, Justin plays Mazavith as his land for turn. Justin then passes to Cody, and Cody uses Urza's ability to activate the top itself. He looks at the top 3 and puts them back in any order. On his turn, he taps for 5 and activates Urza's ability. He shuffles his library and then exiles the top card of his library, which turns out to be a Gitaxian Probe. He can cast it at any time this turn now. He decides to cast it targeting Chandler and looks at his hand. After that, he draws a card. He then +1s Tezzeret, untapping 2 artifacts, and then casts Urza's Bauble. He then taps the Bauble for 1 and casts Witching Well, scrying 2. He then taps for 2 more and casts Arcane Signet. And after dumping his hand, he decides it's time to Time Twister. But before it resolves, Logan decides to flash in Opposition Agent by paying 2 life and sacrificing Blood Pet. He gains 1 back from Aetherflux Reservoir. And so, everyone shuffles their hands and graveyards back into their library and draws a fresh 7. After everyone does this, Cody plays a Darksteel Citadel as his land for turn. Not done yet, he drops a Soul Ring. Then a Mystic Remora, oh boy, more card draw. And then he's finally done, and he passes to Logan. Logan casts a Jeweled Lotus, gaining 1 from Aetherflux, and not paying the 4. Logan then pays 6 life and casts Bolus's Citadel. With Chandler tapped out, and Justin not being able to do anything, Cody takes his last Mystic Remora draw, Logan shows us his Sensei's Divining Top, and everybody concedes. Well, here we are at the end of the video. That was a pretty abrupt and unexpected end. That Time Twister really seemed to change the game. It drew Logan into his combo, but nobody else got anything good out of it. Chandler did say he got a mana drain from it and regretted tapping out the turn before. But by tapping out, he was setting up with Chulane and Eternal Scourge to win with Food Chain the next turn, so I can't really blame him. And Cody and Justin just got unlucky and didn't draw any interaction from their fresh 7. But Logan said he had an Imp's Mischief and a Beseju ready to go just in case, so it didn't really matter anyway. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to like and comment and subscribe. As always, we love hearing from each and every one of you in the comment section. And as usual, have a smooth day.